Hey guys, welcome to our AMA with Itheum. Right, we have a few more minutes there and we'll begin. But let's say hi to Seti, Christian, Jonas, Siva, Costinus. Hi, Costinus. Tawny Tips. Very cheeky nick, huh? Etty. A few MW, MGG, of course, 163. Belfort. Dixon, hello. So nice to see you guys. In the coming weeks, there's going to be quite a lot of AMAs, including one about our announcements as well. But this partnership is one of many. But Itheum is one of the most important ones for us. Satoru Gojo, hello. If you guys can hear me, say yes. Right, because I want to know if I'm talking to myself or I can be heard. Say yes if you can hear me. All right, cool. Thanks for your acknowledgement, guys. All right, so I think we will start in a few more minutes. Today's AMA is going to be very, very different from the rest, right? Previously, we've been talking about the game, the development, our pipeline, our roadmap, our plans, our shifts, our results, etc. We're going to have another one, right? AMA about the game and the roadmap, etc. Right? And today we are talking about this, which is what I would say is a second degree in terms of this GameFi, or I wouldn't say GameFi, but Web3 games revenue streams, right? Yeah. So it says of the infrastructure that we have planned in WonderHero for the upcoming future. Hi Kutu. Hi Rainbow. Hey Jonathan. How are you doing? Welcome guys. I guess we have a lot of people from around the world. Um, just well, before we start, maybe you guys can share which country or which capital you guys are from, right? So for me, I'm here in Singapore, a small little island. How about you guys? Kawanda, hello, where you from, Kawanda? Hi, Christian. Right, CRE NFT Guild, yes, one of the top guilds from Malaysia. So I believe, Christian, you are from Malaysia, I think, right? MGG from Philippines, hello. Jonas from Philippines, hello. Siva from Malaysia, hello. Oh, Dixon, you're from Nigeria, right? What's the time now in Nigeria? Let me see. Let me see. Nigeria is it's 1:09 p.m. Good afternoon to you. Kutu from Bali, Kawanda from Dubai. Wow. Dubai is 4:09 p.m. Good afternoon to you. Yuji from Brazil. All right. Hey, Yuji. Hi. Right, we have been talking on Twitter. I think it's you. Well, thanks for your comments. I really love it. Like 8 comments, and the next AMA. There's a lot of things that we're going to talk about, and a lot of it is to do with the things that you mentioned as well. I think it's good feedback. I really appreciate it. I would love for more people to come in and talk about it. Christian from Romania. Woo! Wow. We have so many friends from all over the world. Academia from Brazil. How's the weather in Brazil now? In Singapore, it's always warm. All right, so I think we're going to start really soon. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Ethan. How's it going?
So happy to see you. I'm good. Yeah, we have quite a crowd today. We have some friends from Romania. We have some friends from Brazil, from Bali, from Dubai, from Malaysia, from Philippines, of course. We have Dixon from Nigeria as well. We have Christian from CRE NFT Guild, which is one of the top guilds in Malaysia. We have a lot of friends from around the world, some of which is 1 p.m. now, some of which is 4 p.m. now. Yeah, and then we have Jonathan from Venezuela.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's so nice to see this. I'm seeing some familiar faces as well, some from the Itheum community. So very excited to have you here as well.
all right, cool. So, yeah, let's kickstart, man. So, hi guys, I'm Ethan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of WonderHero. Today we're really exciting because today is the first time we're doing an AMA with a very, very important partner of ours. And we're going to be talking a lot more about the depth of this Web3 game and where it's going and why we're putting in so much effort for this infrastructure today. And we're going to share a lot more to you about it. And we have a special guest today, Mark Paul, the founder and CEO of Itheum. Mark, maybe you can give us some intro about yourself.
Yeah, firstly, thanks, Ethan, for having me. We've done a few of these and we've had a few calls as well. So excited to be here amongst your community to kind of introduce this pretty awesome partnership. Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Paul. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Itheum. And I will explain what Itheum is. I've got some slides. I think it's very important for us to explain it clearly. In our previous AMA, when we hosted you guys over on our Discord, we had some high-level discussions, but I think today the goal is to be very clear and explain to you what Itheum is, what the Gamer Passport is, and what our partnership's about.
Cool. Yeah, but like Mark, I'm just really curious, right? Before we jump into the AMA itself, can you give us a little bit of a background about yourself and how and why you started Itheum as well?
Yeah, sure, man. I'm based in Sydney, Australia. I've been in traditional tech for like 20 years. So not born into crypto tech effectively. I spent about 10 years in digital health, and I used to work for the government of Australia in specifically digital health. And I saw a lot of issues with data, right? Like if you look at data, it's just locked up in silos everywhere. And I noticed this pattern in sort of every industry, health, retail, gaming. And then effectively what we wanted to do was build a tech stack from the ground up to like envision what this should look like in like an open metaverse. So if we move to a metaverse, are we going to continue with this sort of data hoarding practices? So we built Itheum from the ground up to be a core data protocol for the open metaverse. So our team's based in various parts of the world, most of them in Europe, Romania, Dubai. I'm based here. And yeah, we're really, all of us are hardcore data privacy fans. And we all come from quite traditional, heavy data backgrounds. So I think that's, well, a bit of background about me and the team.
Right, cool. I think, I want to jump into the first question of the AMA, right? So can you tell us more about Itheum and what exciting offers does Itheum have for gamers, especially when coming into Web3? And I believe you have briefly, you have prepared some slides to showcase as well.
Yeah, sure. So Ethan, if it's okay, I'll present the slides. It'll take about 6 minutes or so. Like I want to cover the entire product in detail, and then maybe we can come back to the questions if that's okay from a format point of view.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. Let me share my screen.
Yep. And also for the audience, if there are some parts that you're not sure or you wanted to find out more, feel free to comment it over there. And then later on, I will select a few and then, get Mark to answer to get you guys to understand why we're talking about this. All right, let's go.
Sure. So you can see my screen, just confirming.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Okay, guys. So, I'm going to talk about gamer passports and how it's going to transform Web3 gaming. Itheum, effectively, what we're doing is we're creating what we call mirror humans, right? We're building the tech that lets you own, control, and trade your data in the open metaverse. Effectively, we have 3 parts to our tech stack. Firstly, we let you bridge high-value personal data from Web 2 into Web 3. Secondly, we let you claim ownership of your data in Web 3. And third is we have a protocol that lets you trade this data and earn shared value. So at a high level, this is kind of our tech stack. At the bottom here, you'll notice we are multi-chain. Very important to get this through. We are not aligned to a single chain. Our token itself is launched on the Elrond blockchain, but we are building in parity. So we have EVM and non-EVM support. So we are deployed to a bunch of testnets on EVM side, and we're deploying to Elrond within a couple of weeks' time. So that's the multi-chain protocol at the bottom there. At the right here, you see what I call the data cat, right? So this is the part where we bring in high value data from Web 2 into Web 3. So we do this via data adapters. In the second part is called a data DEX. You can actually use our data DEX on our testnet. The link is on our website. This is the peer-to-peer data protocol. Like it lets you trade data peer-to-peer in using various tools, as like data NFTs, which I'll explain what are later. And lets you also trade in bulk through data coalition DAOs. And the top layer is the exciting layer, right? This is where we have our NFBID avatar, which represents your identity in the metaverse, and it encapsulates all of these complex text underneath it. So we'll probably cover a few of these concepts as we go on. So what are we doing in gaming, right? So as you can see, we are like a horizontal data platform. So why are we looking at gaming? Well, gaming is just a vertical, and it just so happens we love gaming and our team are full of gamers. So we were looking at what problems to solve there. And if you look at what's happening in gaming today, we've got guilds and they've got these players, which is their player liquidity, and the guilds have got these assets, which is their game asset liquidity. And what guilds are doing at the moment in Web3 gaming is basically top-down data collection, right? So these guilds basically are trying to map the best player liquidity to their game asset liquidity so they can optimize their earnings. And how they're doing this right now is they're spending hours and hours on operations. They're doing manual data collection, right? If you guys are scholars or part of guilds, you probably know that you're filling a bunch of Google Forms, docs, they're sending screenshots. What they're effectively doing is collecting your personal data. What Itheum's recommending is that we need to move to a bottom-up data collection, because this is the future. This is the future we see in various other industries. So you at the center, as a gamer, at the center of this is that you're playing multiple games, and you are part of probably multiple guilds, and you're part of multiple discords, communicating with the community, helping them out. At the same time, you're pretty active on social media and streaming platforms, and you're even doing a bunch of things in DeFi, right? Like you're taking your tokens, your NFTs, you're doing stuff in DeFi. And what's happening here is you're leaving data everywhere, on-chain, off-chain data. So Itheum's goal is to use our on-chain and off-chain data adapters and put you in control of the data, let you own it. And that's effectively what we're trying to do, bottom-up data collection. This is a bit of a complex slide. We'll come back to this back and forth as we discuss, but this is how the entire tech stack fits into place. On the top here, you get the games and the guilds and yourselves as gamers. In the center here, we have the Data Coalition DAO. The role of the Data Coalition DAO is to bulk trade your gaming data and to share the value back with you. So Itheum's data adapters brings in the on-chain and off-chain data. We attach it to your NFMeID passport. That's your gamer passport. You can view your data at any time. It belongs to you. So you can see insights about yourself, your own gaming history, your own social behavior, and all of that. And all you have to do is align your data sets to the DAO. And you do this because you want to pool a bulk data set, right? Your data alone is not worth a lot of money. But if you pool it with people doing similar things, like playing the similar games, involved in the similar guilds, now this data set is very valuable. And the DAO's responsibility is to find consumers of this data set with your consent, right? And every time they trade it, effectively they're buying a license to use the data through our data NFTs. You earn value straight off. So this entire ecosystem runs with the Itheum token. When people buy bulk data from the DAO, the micro payments in Itheum tokens are sent back to the data creator. And we can do this thanks to the way we have our gamer passports incorporated in the system. Right, so now as a WonderHero gamer, you're probably like, okay, what does this partnership mean to me, right? Like, well, you are the first in the world to be whitelisted to mint NFMeID soulbound avatars. So you will be the first to be able to do this. And secondly, as I explained, as your data is put into the bulk data set and people buy access to this, you earn Itheum tokens in return for sharing your data. There's a few steps here, Ethan. I don't know if you want me to cover this right now, but this is basically a step-by-step approach on how we're going to mint your gamer passport. Should I cover it now, or maybe I'll come back to this a bit later on?
Oh no, I think it's good, that we cover this foundation so that, I think our audience may have more questions about the steps. I think it's good to cover it now.
Okay, let's do it, man. So we get asked quite often, okay, how do we get our hands on one of these gamer passports? Well, there's a bunch of steps here. It might seem very complicated, but I assure you, when you actually use it, it'll be quite simple. Step one is you need to join a supported guild, game, or the Itheum Discord. So one of the guilds we support is Polka Starter Gaming Guild. We're launching that partnership within a few weeks. Potentially WonderHero might incorporate within its Discord itself. You could incorporate the Gamer Passport onboarding app, and the Itheum Discord already has it installed. So you can head over to the Itheum Discord and you can participate right now. Step two is once you're in this supported guild, you just run a command to register, and there's a registration process that happens there. And the registration process is nothing more than you linking your on-chain gaming wallets and your off-chain identities. In other words, these are the wallets I use to play this game. These are my social identities, and I give you consent to look at high-level data. Nothing we collect is without consent, and we never collect real personal information. We are collecting like longitudinal data. In other words, we're collecting counts of things. This is how many times you did this. This is how many times you said this. We never collect personal data, and everything we collect is very clear to you. Step 4 is then once you've linked all of this, Itheum's data adapters work behind the scenes. We have on-chain and off-chain adapters collecting your gaming footprint. So as you're playing WonderHero, we're looking at the contracts, we're seeing what footprint you're leaving behind. We're working with WonderHero now with a private API, collecting some private data, linking it to you, looking at your Discord activity, your social activity, how much you're participating in streams, how much you're helping people. We're collecting all of this data, nothing personal, like I said. Think of this as very sort of de-identified data. You can then view your gaming data insights at any time. So we have a dashboard where you can see all of your data at any time. It all belongs to you. Step 6 is when we're moving into Web3, right? So next, you're going to go into Itheum's DataDex, which is how you decentralize that. Step 7 is you're going to be whitelisted now to mint your NFMe ID gamer passport. It looks really cool. It's a interoperable 3D avatar. It's not one of these flat NFTs. It's fully rotatable. You can even port it into supported platforms and walk around. It's very cool. Step 8 is you mint a data NFT. Now, what this is that there's effectively a license to use your data. So you got your NFMe ID, gamer passport, you mint your data NFT, which is a license to use the data. Step 9 is you align now to a data coalition DAO. Remember what I was telling you about the DAO. This is the data coalition DAO that aligns bulk data and then bulk trades it. And effectively, you're delegating your data NFT to it, and you're letting it trade on your behalf. Step 10, the data coalition now bulk trades the gamer passport data with guilds, games, and other approved consumers in return for Itheum tokens. And step 11 is each time the bulk data set is purchased, the license is used, you get a share of your Itheum tokens. Very important step to remember here is in step 10, you decided to align to the data coalition DAO. And if anytime you decide, I don't like this data coalition DAO, you can exit at any time and you can walk away. This is really the power of Web3-based data trading. You get a choice on how your data is being used. And if you don't like it, you can walk away. Even if you don't like who's running the data coalition DAO, you can even raise a vote and you can initiate a vote. And if other people agree to you, the DAO would have to realign its sort of membership structure. So we're putting all these pieces together to enable decentralized data trade. That's my last slide. We have a super exciting announcement, but I'll actually leave that for later, and we'll come back to that later on.
All right, cool, man. I think it's quite elaborate. I really, really like it. I mean, we have a few more questions. We'll go deeper into this, all right? So,
Sure.
But before... all right, so, just, from my perspective as the founder of WonderHero to, a lot of our community members who are watching this AMA, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, right? So you're playing the game, you're earning from PvE, you're also earning from PvP, and then you're discussing about a lot of builds, which are the best build to play, in Discord or Telegram. And then you're also earning from NFTs as well. You sell NFTs on Marketplace, right? So this is the projectile of the game. And now suddenly with Itheum's partnership, right? All of you already you guys are on a Web3 game, which is WonderHero is a Web3 game. And so now with all this decentralized information, you get to possess this data. And with this data, when you deposit your NFT, which is your representation of your data, into the DEX, and then from there, through time, you'll be able to see that, hey, besides playing the game when you're earning WND or HON or NFT itself, you're also using your data to earn more Itheum tokens, right? So that's why earlier in the AMA, I mentioned this Itheum partnership is a second degree kind of play and earn kind of scope, right? With your involvement in WonderHero, you get to see that with with this infrastructure that we have set up, you may be able to see where Web3 game is going moving forward. This is only the start. And you guys, as mentioned by Mark, users of WonderHero are the first in the world to be whitelisted to get this NFT me ID, right? And then, in terms of capturing value and how far it can go, right? This is the beginning, right? But we all know when you're at the beginning from Bitcoin, Ethereum, or anything like that, you guys are the pioneers, right? You guys will also be forming the key feedbacks to Mark and his team together with us as well to see where this Web3 data is going to go to as well, right? So I want to jump on to the next question, right? The idea of having true ownership of your gaming data is truly intriguing. Can you share with our community what is the use case and how it benefits gamers so that we can have a glimpse of the near future?
Yeah, no, a good question. So what's happening today, and if you guys are gamers and scholars, and you're probably used to this, you're going to guilds, you're applying for scholarships, you're leaking your data everywhere you go, right? But it just so happens the guilds itself are trying to optimize their operations, right? They need your data. A gamer's data is very valuable to them because what they're trying to do is find their best gamers, the quickest learners, the quickest earners, the most helpful community members. They're trying to optimize everything within their game, like the scholarship pipelines. They're trying to optimize their asset utilization. And this is just gaming, right? Like we're just talking purely about gaming. And within gaming itself, we have so many use cases targeted at guilds who are very interested in these data sets. Now let's look at the other sort of use cases. Let's look at GameFi. We're seeing this overlap now of DeFi within gaming, lending within gaming, right? Like, and a lot of this is coming down to data. They need to know a bit more about you to understand if they can lend to you. They want to look at not just your on-chain collateral, maybe a little bit of your social activity, like how good is this person in Discord? Like, they have been super helpful to everybody. I'm going to lend them a little bit more because they're a good team player. It starts to open up all of these amazing doors, right? And even these data sets become super valuable to the games itself, trying to understand their actual gamers, what made them join the game, how long did they stay, how quick did they learn, how quick did they earn, how did they react to a new version of the game, did they slow down playing? Everything is a data footprint. And this is like insane when you think about it. Like you leave this data wherever you're going. What Itheum is going to do is going to collect it and give it to you. And then you just have to bulk assign this to a data coalition DAO. And I mean, it's very important to know that you don't have to like wreck your mind to think, okay, how do I sell this? All you have to do is align to a data coalition DAO and delegate it to them. Let them sell it for you and then share their earnings with you.
Okay, this is Mark. I just want to. I mean, this is impromptu, right? But then I just want to touch on this as well. Sure. I think about 7 weeks ago, if I'm not wrong, right? Tesla mentioned that they are going to be able to let their cars be able to use for what's that called? Taxi services on the autonomous mode, right? And then many years ago, right, a lot of people that are talking about Tesla are saying Tesla is not in the business of cars. Tesla is in the business of data, right? With their cars, they are mapping out the entire data and the map, right? And data of drivers in the United States, for example. And with that data, they can use that to do a lot of things. But in this case, it has nothing to do with the drivers, right? You bought a car, you're churning out data for the company, that's it. Right. So in retrospect with this, right, is that WonderHero, yes, of course we are playing an earn game, right? You get to play a Web3 game, but on top of that now, using your data, you'll be able to churn out even more information. Like what Mark mentioned, you don't have to worry about thinking about what to do with your data because now because of Itheum services, they solve this convenience for everybody. So I thought that was a very, very good point because it's really, really hassle-free, right? And I think Seti, I saw a comment from Seti as well, right? Which I think a lot of people are probably thinking about it, even though you did mention about it, right? Is why would someone want to sell their private data, right? In this case, the context of this question is already there because like this person don't believe in selling their private data. Maybe you can address that for everyone.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very good question. So thanks for that, Seti. I think one thing to kind of call out here is you're already giving away your private data. The world that you live in right now, your private data is gone. You have no say in this. Like everything you generate is being traded in a data brokerage market that's worth $200 billion. So the world you live in right now, you're already at a loss, right? What we're doing in Itheum is now introducing this concept where at least if you want to trade your personal data, you can claim ownership of it, and then it's a new economy that you have never been part of, right? You've been kept in the sidelines. Now, the choice is still yours, right? Like you still have the choice to go and get a gamer passport. You still have a choice to register. You still have a choice to mint your data NFT, which is the license to use your data. You still have a choice to go and join a data coalition now. These options are never available to you in Web2. So I think it is quite, we get this question a lot. And when we explain to people, you already are not getting your data ownership, right? You're already being exploited. So anything is better than the system we have right now. It just so happens Itheum is trying to build a system that really puts you in charge, at the center of this problem.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of addressing it. I think now that we're on this subject, I'm going to jump to the next question because I think there's a bridge between these two, right? So security is definitely one of the key concerns for users, especially for users, obviously, that chooses to sell their data or trade their data, right? So to help users have a better sense of this, Mark, can you share how Itheum ensures the security of personal data?
Yeah, sure. Okay, it's a good question again. Now, as I was walking through the stack, and let's talk about Gamer Passport because that's the first product that we're launching, right? The on-chain adapters and the off-chain adapters are collecting de-identified data and nothing personal, right? Like we have a Discord adapter, for example, that's looking at your social data, and we're just counting things. We're counting how many times you do this. So there's nothing sensitive there. We're very careful about what we're collecting. Now, when you bring this sort of low sensitive data, de-identified, longitudinal data, very important, right? Like in other words, we are collecting like benchmarks like on a daily basis. In other words, our Discord adapter is looking at your engagement on a daily basis. That's all we're collecting. Now, when you bring it into the data decks, right? You onboard it into the data decks, you now have the ability to attach some personal information to it. Maybe your age, maybe your gender, maybe your location. The difference is the way when you enter the data decks, you're storing this in a data vault. And the data vault is using a per user encryption scheme. Let me rephrase that. Let me explain that a little bit further. Now, when you start, as an example, let's say you join some Web2 app, or maybe you just get a Google account or something, your data is stored in a centralized database and all encrypted in the same way. So when an attacker attacks it and de-encrypts it, they get the entire data set, right? All the users' identity exposed. With the data vault, it's per user encryption, right? And if an attacker attacks this, every person in this has a different encryption. So it's not practical for them to use it. It's just completely gibberish, in fact. Like it's very unattractive from a honeypot point of view to attack. Now, you within the data decks can choose whether you want to just sell your low sensitive data that I spoke about, like just the longitudinal data, or you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to sell this and I'm going to attach a copy of my data vault, which now increases the value of that, right? But again, you have the choice. You can also just say, you know what, I'm happy to just participate by selling my low sensitive data. And later on, when I have confidence in the system, maybe I bring in my personal data vault and sell it. Now, you can exit anytime. You can sever the access at any time. All of these options, which you can't do right now, are available to you. But this is the version we are building now. The version we are building in future is actually significantly more advanced from an encryption point of view. Even the low sensitive data is going to follow a per user encryption scheme. So it's going to be security is at the heart of what we do, privacy and security.
All right. So I have an impromptu question over here
Yeah.
that maybe I want to ask, for everybody who's watching as well. And also, I mean, after this AMA, we're going to archive it as well. I'm sure, audience that is watching this post-recorded video will be asking this as well. So, I mean, we're talking about security here, right? I want to address a little bit more about the personal identity here, right? Because when your information is in the data decks, I'm not sure, like your personal identity information is not going to be there, correct?
It's not going to be there. You're logging in with your wallet. Now we have a feature called Data Vault, and the idea of the Data Vault is if you want to put some personal information, right? Or let's say if you're looking at your gamer passport and you've collected this really valuable web, on-chain, off-chain data set. Now, let's say, suppose you want to attach your age group or your gender or whatever it is, you can actually put it into your data vault and do it. But again, this is a choice that you have. If you don't want to do this, don't do it. Like your data is still valuable in its original form. But yes, you do have a choice.
Yeah, no, actually, no. What I mean is because, like for myself, I was a financial consultant in a bank, so we know what is sensitive information, right? Like for example, your name, right? Your ID number, your email, right? Your address, right? Your mobile number. Those are extremely sensitive information, right? Because if the wrong people have this information, then it's compromised, right? But then so I personally don't feel that age is a sensitive information here because the age is not tied to a personal identity here, right? So it's just this wallet address, this age, that's it, right? So I don't think there's any concern. So that's what I want to drive at, because if there's no personal information, personal identity information over here, then I don't think there's any issue in terms of a security issue when it comes to relevance with a personal identity. I think that's what I'm driving at.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. I would say for the gamer passport, we probably don't even have to use the data vault, right? Like the data vault is there for other use cases in maybe health and all these things where you need some personal information, but we protect it in a special way. For the gamer passport, I think we don't even need to do this.
Yeah, so cool. I get it, right? So I think we address that security of personal data here because it's not that personal, actually. Yeah. All right. So the next question, right, is I think with relevance to a lot of people who are watching this as well. We announced our strategic partnership, and many of our community members, are very excited about it. Can you tell us why, Itheum decided to form this partnership with WonderHero?
Yeah, I can absolutely tell everyone, Ethan, and it's a good story as well. So, I mean, even before Itheum launched, so we launched our token in February or March of this year. We started speaking to Ethan. We were introduced to Ethan and the team, and we started talking to them. And we probably spoke to every game, every guild, and we were looking at synergies. Because we were bringing a horizontal Web3 data platform and said, listen, we'd love to do something in gaming. Look, let's collaborate. And with everyone we spoke, we found out that almost every guild is trying to build one of the systems of their own. And what we told them was, we got a lot more expertise in this. Let us build it, we'll collaborate. But it just felt like they were not quite ready to kind of have a synergy and collaborate. And we spoke to games, but when we spoke to you, Ethan, specifically, I remember you seemed to get it immediately. And you were like, oh, okay, this data thing, yeah, we need to get on top of this. Our gamers are very important to us. Our community is very important to us. We need to get on top of this. We need to embrace this. And we felt like almost immediately we saw eye to eye. So that was one, because that signals that we can work very well together. And then secondly, when we launched the token, you were very supportive. The team was very supportive, and we kind of started looking at your game. So even in Itheum's team, we have WonderHero gamers, right? Very important. We love the game ourselves. We started looking at the contracts, we were looking at the data footprint, and we said, wow, this is really cool. You guys have designed the game in such a way, it's leaving a really good footprint of data, very valuable stuff. This makes so much more sense to the gamer passport. So yeah, we built it. In fact, it's already built. And we started testing it. And this is effectively why we were so excited to partner with WonderHero.
Yeah, cool. Thanks so much. I want to add on this point because this is often overlooked by a lot of our community members and a lot of our gamers. because the level of thought and effort and execution on our games infrastructure, right, cannot be seen with the naked eye. It cannot be seen, right? And so that all those things are just the basis and the infrastructure of the experience of Wonder Hero game as we know it today. And now we are adding another, as I mentioned earlier, this is the third time mentioned. Now we are adding a second degree to this Wonder Hero gaming experience, right? Which is it's totally outside of the game, and yet it is part of the experience, and that is why this is so exciting. And also from our part, when we spoke to Itheum, we thought that, hey, this is exactly what we're looking for, right? We get a second degree of potentially income for our Web3 gamers, and whatever you have participated from, let's say January all the way to, let's say, okay, in June, for example, right? Even in December, there will still be people using this data, and whatever data they've contributed in June, you're still enjoying the benefits from it. Now that is incredible. I think that is almost like I'm not going to use the word passive, but I'm just going to say like you're practically like having something to mint value for you with your past works, if that makes sense, right? I want to jump to the next question, right? Question 5, right? So our community is very keen on this. I think over the last few weeks, people have been asking about this already, right? So they want to find out like how and when they can get their hands on their own NFT Me ID.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm going to just very quickly share that last slide I have now. I think it's the right time to talk about that. And let me just pull that up real quick. Cool. I think you guys can see that. All right. So we mentioned we've collaborated with WonderHero is a partner. We launched a partnership with Polka Starter Gaming Guild. There are WonderHero scholars in there, gamers in there. So you can also get your hands on it through the Polka Starter Gaming Guild. Starting in about 2 to 3 weeks is when we're launching. But this is the big announcement we wanted to have, right? We have actually built the Gamer Passport already, and we have an alpha version of it. We've built the data adapters that are collecting data about WonderHero game. We've built a Discord adapter, and we've been testing it on Itheum's Discord. So in Itheum's Discord, we have a special area for WonderHero, and we stream WonderHero in there. We have WonderHero quizzes. In fact, we have a WonderHero quiz tomorrow, so you guys should come and join us. Now, we've been streaming twice a week WonderHero games, and a lot of people ask us, why are you guys are a data project, why are you streaming games? Why we were doing that is because we are actually testing our data adapters, and we were getting gamers to come in stream. We monitor their gameplay, we monitor their Discord activity, we're monitoring their streams, we're monitoring how engaged they are in the streams, how much feedback they're getting in the streams, and we are associating that to the Gamer Passport. So 2 days ago, we were very happy with the first version of our tech. We've labeled it Alpha, and we are actually opening it up. So we have like 50 spots open up. So head over to our Discord, just talk to our CMs there, just tell that you're interested, participate in the quiz tomorrow, because that will be a first step towards you being shortlisted. Come and join our streams. So this is one way you can do it. And of course, maybe Ethan, we'll talk about this later on, maybe within your Discord, if you guys are open to opening up a few spots, we can do that too.
Absolutely, right. So again, the audience who are watching this, you saw this, right? There is only 50 available slots. You guys have very, very good leverage. Your time that you spend here over the last 46 minutes is worth it. Snap up this alpha slots, right? Because once it's snapped up, again, we have to discuss about increasing that and all that, but this is really limited. If you have time, go ahead and do it. And then also, Mark, we are also going to be posting the past 2 slides, the step 1 to 10, as well as the alpha thing. We're going to put it up on our Medium as well, right? So that when this AMA is the post-recorded version is posted on our YouTube channels and Twitter, people can also observe this, watch it, and then also participate, and they will want to join as well. All right, so this is really exciting, right? I feel so honored to be the first over here, really. And so this leads to the next thing, right? We have talked about a few current things. So let's talk about a little bit about the future. So what is the roadmap ahead for this partnership?
Yeah. So the first goal was to form what we call the triangle partnership. So that's Itheum providing the gamer passport, a really good game, which is WonderHero, which because it leaves such an awesome footprint, but at the same time it's so engaging. And then we needed the guild, right? And then we spoke to Polka Star, the gaming guild. They totally get it. They were very quick to agree to the partnership. And now we have the data creator, which is the gamer creating the data. Then we have WonderHero, which is the sort of the subject matter expert of this data. And then now we have the data consumer, the guild willing to buy the data set. What we're going to do now is replicate this further, right? We bring in more guilds. We look at different chains, right? Like, so we are a multi-chain protocol. We're talking to Elrond's biggest guild coming up, multiple games in that. The same sort of model moves around. What is mind-blowing here is the data footprint we're collecting is not just one chain, not just BSC, Polygon. We can go any chain. We're collecting this and attaching it to you, right? So you can now move as a gamer between chains, playing games, between guilds, taking with you your gamer passport as like your CV, right? You don't have to now go and tell people, hey, I'm a really good gamer. You can just literally go and say, hey, yeah, just look at my gamer passport. It's got like 10 years worth of my gaming. Maybe not 10 years, maybe 2 years worth of my gaming. So this is like what we're doing, and this is our roadmap. We're incrementally adding in new partners, and we're going to grow it further. But we have insane amount of other partnerships we're going to announce in other verticals, in retail, in all these things now are all kind of like synergizing together.
All right, and then for context for our audience, right, which are WonderHero users, like what is coming from me, what is the roadmap ahead for this partnership, right? Is we have already established like the first key sets of API with Itheum, right? So in terms of seeing the fruition of this is a matter of like a time, like real quick, right? So once we got this API, we will do the beta test together with Itheum. Once we run this test, we'll make this announcement real quick. I don't think it'll be too long because we have been working on it for a while already, right? And then so that's the beginning. And from there, between Itheum and WonderHero, because we have already scripted so-called the layer 1 of this API, we're going to go deeper, right, with this data sets. And so I think Mark already reviewed a little bit, right, because of their potential partnerships with other retail partnerships or big conglomerates, etc. Your data now has not only just relevance with Web3 games, but now it has a lot of relevance with other industries, right, cross industries. And I think that depth itself is pretty huge in terms of this partnership, right? And then all right, so I think that's the question. I want to jump to some. Sorry, there was a question that I saw that was quite important. I think Dixon asked this, which I feel is quite relevant. Dixon asked earlier that as a scholar, will they be able to have their own data set that they own as a scholar? Does this make sense?
Yes, so this is a good question, right? And this is something we're exploring now. Like at the moment, we're looking at the gamer, like you are actually a direct gamer, not a scholar. But I think from what we've been looking at, and Ethan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is the scholarship model, the gamer still owns the address, right? Like unlike the other games where they're leasing addresses. I think that's the other reason why we wanted to work with WonderHero. And maybe correct me if I'm wrong, Ethan. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is accurate.
Yeah. So in that case, yes, even if you're a scholar, you can participate in this. And I think that's also super cool.
All right, cool. All right. So I think Dixon, I hope we answer your question now, right? It's out of the way, right? Scholars can get to own your own data and use your data to earn some income as well, revenue as well. Right. So we have a few questions that the community asked, I think in the last few days that we prepared. There's quite a few of them, so I'm going to just shoot. Oh, there's a few. Hold on. What? Okay, so this is interesting. I don't think it's covered. So what will be the procedure for issuing gamer passports?
Yeah, so I did cover that in that one slide. At a high level, you just have to find a supported game guild, a Discord, because the way you actually interact with all of this is just through a Discord bot, right? And we're trying to make it as easy as possible. So find a supported guild, a Discord. PGG is going to be the first supported guild. WonderHero is the first supported game. Or you can just come to Itheum's Discord, which supports it by default. And then you now have to get a specific role within the Discord. We just call it the Gamer Passport role. The moment you have that role, you can talk to the bot, and the first step you do is you register, just /register, which then lets you basically prove ownership of your addresses through making you sign some stuff and also proving ownership of your social accounts. The moment you complete registration, the data adapter starts working, collecting data and linking it to you. That's the first step. That is your registration. The second step is let's say you play for like 1 month, and now you're collecting all this data. You want to then start moving to the second step, which is you want to mint your NFBID avatar, which is your gamer passport, which represents your identity. Second is you mint your data NFT, which represents the license to use your data set. Third, you just join the Data Coalition DAO. So once you do this, that's it, right? You delegated it, and then you have a wallet, and every time your data set is traded or sold, or resold, etc., you get micropayments of Ethereum tokens. This is high level. If you guys want to deep dive into this, just come to our Discord. We have our team ready to help you there.
All right, cool. So the next question I think is addressed to me. So the question is, to further expand the WonderHero community, can the new partners provide scholarships? All right, cool. So my answer is yes, right? New partners can provide scholarships. Now, existingly, we have concluded that we're going to be trying out with a few guilds to expand their scholarships, right, using their existing tokens. We're going to see the data from it. And if it makes sense, if it works for us in terms of expansion and scaling, I think we can explore that when it comes to new partners moving forward, right? So I think that's exciting as well, because now we're talking about a healthier ecosystem that is to do with WND and HON token. I'll be talking more about that in our next EMA. Right, so next question. Well, there's a lot of this kind of questions, right? But I think we need to address it once and for all. So what will benefit our WonderHero scholars with the new partnership and gamer passports?
Yeah. So I think Ethan explained this, right? Like what we're trying to do here is you are already in this ecosystem where we're generating a lot of data, and at the moment you don't even know this. It's like just silently being generated, used in different ways. What we're doing is we are seamlessly enabling, and I don't want to say earn, right? Like, because then it just becomes earn. We are seamlessly bringing new value for you that you don't even know that you had. Ethan also mentioned this, right? Like, imagine you have played 6 months worth of WonderHero, and you have like got better at it, and you have discovered new sort of insights from it. You can take all of this historic stuff and attach it to your gamer passport. It's like having like a LinkedIn profile for your gaming. Now, if you're wondering what use of this is for me, is you could use this in so many different ways, just like you use LinkedIn, right? Maybe you're using to find other gamers to do specific things, maybe to expand your social circles, maybe to learn if you can play other games, maybe join other guilds, earn other ways. So you are already leaving such a big data footprint. All we're doing is that we're giving it to you and then saying, okay, now do what you want with this. You could even earn from this, and it opens up all these doors.
Okay. Well, I think I understand the context a little bit more about this question as well, right? So whoever who asks this question should be a scholar, right? So don't worry about it, right? Your guild masters will also have their data decks, have their data as a guild master for the guild. But you as a scholar, as an individual player as well, you have your own specific wallet address. And because of that, you will be able to churn out your own gamer data that belongs to you as a scholar. It belongs to you. All right, not the guild, it belongs to you. And then you will be able to use that to deposit into the data decks. right? So
Yeah.
I
Ethan, just on that, man, maybe also, and you can correct me we've got this use case wrong. Maybe you're a scholar with a guild, and then for whatever reason, maybe you want to go to another guild. Maybe you have a better revenue split there. So you're going to go there. Now we go to this new guild, and the new guild will be like, okay, I don't know anything about you. Are you a good gamer? You can literally just say, here's my gamer passport. It's got all my history to it. And then you can very quickly onboard to this new guild. So it
yeah.
gives you the ability, the flexibility to choose. For the first time, you get to choose now. Like, okay, I can go to a new guild and participate.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I think that makes that makes a lot of people, a lot of guilds' life easier. Yeah. And then so I have a last question from the community, then later we'll pick a few from the comments.
Yeah.
So how many projects that are using this gamer passport thing now? Can we see a bigger picture about this in the future? I think we can, Mark, you can just give a glimpse about it.
Yeah, so WonderHero is the first. Like we said, we're launching with WonderHero. You guys will be the first to mint the first batch of NFBID gamer passports. But like we said, we're bringing the guild in, who's going to be the consumer for the data set. And then we're expanding to other games, and we're expanding to other guilds, other chains. Elrond's something we're very keen on. We are part of the Elrond ecosystem. We've seen the games that are coming there. We've seen the guilds that are scaling up there. It seems like a grassroots project. They might be a bit later to the party, but they're starting at an advantage of technology, and we feel like they're quite mature in how they're launching. So we are going to be embedded right into that. But as a gamer, you get to now have the flexibility of moving between chains, between games, between guilds, and continuously collecting your data footprint as you go, and then making it easier for you to embed into new ecosystems better.
Okay. And Jonas asked an interesting question, even though I think I know the answer, right? So Jonas asked, if you decide to walk away from a data collection DAO, the data that you have, the data that they have about your gamer passport, will it be purged?
That's an excellent question, right? This is the concept. This is a concept that's applicable in any industry, actually, right? Now, you have minted your data NFT, which is the license to use your data. Then you have gone to the Data Coalition DAO and said, I delegate my license to you. You trade on my behalf. And then effectively that gives them the license to decrypt the data and use it and trade it. We're looking at, if you're wondering how does the trade work, we're looking at like a subscription model. In other words, to use the data set, you pay per month, right? And then you get to choose. You can say, I'll let you use it for maybe 2 months. So think of it as a time-based subscription, right? And then at the 2 months, the subscription ends and they can't use it anymore. Now, this is quite tricky, right? Because you have actually told them to use it and they have used it, and then you have earned some value. So technically you got paid for them using your data. Now, let's say 6 months down the track, you say, okay, I'm out. Does that mean a refund, right? You have to refund them. But I think this is where it gets tricky. And I think what we have to think about is you made the choice for them to use the data set, but you can stop them using it. So you can actually leave maybe 6 months down the line and they won't use it anymore. Your data set is pulled off from the bulk data set, but you can't obviously stop them from historic use, in other words, right? Like you have to either refund them or something. But so I hope that makes sense. You can, to summarize, you can exit at any point, and only from that point on, they can't use your data. But if they have paid you for using your data, then of course you can't go back on it.
Okay. Wow, cool. I think throughout this AMA, I've because we have a segment which is Q&A for 3 winners. I think, if I'm not wrong, Mark, remind me. I think I picked up 3 questions already, right? The last one was the third one, right? Yeah. So, all right, cool. So we got our 3 winners. Congratulations. I think Jonas, Sati, and one more. I can't remember. Leon, if you could actually find that would be great. Right. So I think that concludes the end of this AMA. I think it is a lot more insightful, a lot more deeper, and also relevant with our gamers from around the world about what they can do with these gamer passports. I like to reiterate this again, right? WonderHero gamers and players, get to be the first, and there are 50 alpha whitelist spots available right now. We'll be posting this on a medium immediate list after this AMA. If you guys want, you can immediately join discord.io discord.io/Itheum, right? And then you can join and then ask more about this 50 alpha whitelist spots. If it's not too late right now, there's only 50. Please go ahead and do it, right? Right. So, Mark, you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, so just to clarify that link, it's ethium.io/Discord. So just join there. We got our CMs waiting to advise you on what to do next. Yeah, my closing remarks is, thank you for the questions. Super interesting questions. I can see that people are interested in this, right? But we have, we feel that it's a difficult concept to grasp because this is something no one's used to, right? No one's been in charge of their data. No one's earned from their data. So you guys are going to be the first, and not just in gaming, first in the world to be exposed to this concept. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. So Ethan, as always, man, I always enjoy talking to you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the community for having me. We're looking for a long-term partnership with you guys and your community.
Yeah, great, man. And so, I mean, this is just a suggestion. I don't think me and Mark we have discussed about this, but I think it's a good idea after we have rolled out the API, right? And then Ethereum is really collecting all this data, that from players that gave their consent. I think then we can have a follow-up AMA to say what did this data transpire to and what did this users get, right? I think that'll be very, very fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So we really literally want to, our data coalition DAO is, the technology is still about 4 months away, but we have a way to run the DAO offline. So we are going to actually be able to prove this entire life cycle. And then I think we can come back again, look at our learnings, iterate further, improve it. It's going to be really awesome community-based iteration.
Yeah, cool. Then we will have a second AMA with Itheum to see, and then maybe we can ask a few of our users that contributed, right? What is their experience?
Yeah.
And what are they seeing now in terms of Web3 data and Web3 games, right? I think for them to go through this.
Even better, we'll bring a guild in as well, right? So we'll bring PGG in and we'll have this roundtable about how this ecosystem is.
Yeah, cool. That sounds very exciting. I mean, just like this, having these ideas, I'm actually very excited to see what it will transpire. Right. So, guys, thanks so much, right, all of you, for attending this. I think it's been a very, very insightful AMA. In case you missed out on anything, there will be a post-recorded video of the AMA, a whole 1 hour and 5 minutes of it. You can go check out, and you can maybe write down notes of what Mark said. And also, you can go to etheum.io/Discord to ask more questions. I think Mark is also there. A lot of his team is also there to help answer some of your questions. But with that, thank you everybody, right, for attending this AMA, and then we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. See ya. Bye.